you who are in the startup space, in the whole of Kenya, there is no better place for startup than Nakuru. All right? I personally saw it. I mean, I had no godfather, I had nobody. This is a place you can come with your rucksack and walk out as a governor, a minister, and nobody knows what else. Correct? In the retail sector, you are aware that Naivas started here in Nakuru. You are aware Nakumat, StageMart, and all the others. I'm yet to hear of those that started in other places. So there's something about Nakuru and startups. And I want to join you today in saying that for whatever you are doing, all of us who are there exhibiting and doing different businesses, there is a Kenyan culture of trying to show that what you're doing is just small. You know, I have a business, isn't it? I have a farm, I'm trying to, and I think this idea of trying to make whatever you're doing look small tends to undermine the very place you want to go. So if you want to proclaim your business to greatness, you must see it as such, isn't it? And I'm saying that because the steps and what you say of yourself informs how big your vision can be. And I have told you can start here and become the biggest player in whatever area you choose to. And for that reason, those who are in holiday homes, those who want to do education, this is where you can have a school. And anybody from all over Kenya can bring their child to study here. For us, who can we be able to partner with? And I'll be happy to work with you to connect you with those international networks so that together, a few and some of you can be able to take up some of those opportunities and move forward. And I also remember, I think there's a lady who introduced herself here. So again, the first lesson I want to give our people, in your businesses, involve your children. Involve your? This secrecy in business does not work. Because the day you are no longer able to run the business, it will go with you. It may even go ahead of. So involve your children, your family, the young people, so that the time when you're no longer there, your businesses can continue. And I'm saying this in the full knowledge that one of the biggest challenges you're having with African businesses, they don't live beyond the life of the founders. A small technical issue. But I was just trying to say, as business people, let's involve our family and our children. Let us mentor them. And if you have looked at some of the generations that have gone 3-4 generations, the goodwill created by the first generation is lost when the business ends there. But if you are carrying on a business that was started, has generational goodwill, and can be moved on to the next level, then you have somewhere to pick from. And this also goes a long way, even how we guide our children when it comes to careers they are going to take. So I think we found in our country, me, I'm probably a farmer, my son decides to be, I don't know, a what? IT, for example. You know, so we end up in very complicated area. But I want to tell you, all these people who are cited here as the richest people, and this is where I would have wanted to come, most of the people they have employed as their managers, including Warren Buffett, their CEO, is a who? Is a who? Is an Indian guy. All these guys we're talking about here. So I think there's a lot we can learn, but all I was trying to say, let's do businesses that can outlive us. Long after we are gone, they can live and move on. And one of the ways we have found is that once you start your business and it is succeeding, is you let it also have other people on board. In fact, actually, out of all those examples, they started with a good idea. Out of the good idea, they sold shares. Other people came in, they got the initial capital they had, and thereafter, the companies are running. The day they retire or they're old enough they want to work, they will just sell their shares and the company continues. Fast forward to the Kenyan situation. If you are the one who has started a company and you make a mistake of dying, your company also dies with you. So if you want to build wealth for our country and employ our people and our young people who are here, we must move forward. Look at how we can create businesses that have stability, can live beyond our own generation, and can create value beyond where we sit. Allow me also quickly to mention that Kenya is in a very unique situation. I know sometimes we have not seen the best of ourselves, and have said the reason for that is because technically Kenyans are generally humble people. And nobody, in fact, even if you went to an international place and there are many nationalities, you can easily pick a Kenyan. Because they are humble, they will let people pass their way, but wait until you meet a Nigerian. He will say, excuse 1 kilometer away, so that everybody can make. But Kenyans are humble, they want to make their way, which is how we are. But also when it comes to business, it is they who shout the loudest that get the opportunity, that get the business. And I think this is really something that we must see. So we have very good ideas. For example, I am not too sure that you know that the magic of M-Pesa is a story of conversation across the whole world. I was just trying to say, the magic of M-Pesa does not exist in any other African country. In fact, we have now gone to Ethiopia, we are in DRC and all these other countries, and our conversation with those countries is that they are requesting Kenya to actually go there and be the light in those countries from an M-Pesa transaction point of view. However, when you talk to Kenyans, they don't see themselves as pioneers in everything, in anything for that matter. So in ICT, we are doing very well indeed. And I think we would want also to say that as we try and open opportunities across, like in Ethiopia where we've gone, I think also Kenyans must go with some of our big corporates that are trying to open opportunities there and see how we can benefit from the bigger pie, because you have more knowledge than a lot that are there. And in case you do not appreciate the M-Pesa revolution, it is probably the biggest invention that Kenya has ever made. Today, even in the rural areas, parents and grandparents, even those with sight problems, can be able to access their accounts. Because it is so instantaneous, it solves all your problems, and it makes work much easier. So I'm just trying to say we have both the manpower and the technology. Can we be able to use it? And right now, what you're trying to do is to take this technology to every village, so that in all the capitals around Kenya, be it Baringo, Nyahururu, Narok, and all those places, and even into the interior, it is there. But once it is taken there, it is a responsibility to use that network for business and create opportunities also for young people. Here in Nakuru, I am sure you're aware that this dueling of the Rironim or Summit Road has already commenced, and already the designs are being done. And ideally, we would want this road to be completed before next elections. So it will be started at multiple places. So if I was a business person sitting here in Nakuru today, I would want to know how and in what sense I can benefit from this road. I want to tell you that when Thika Road was being constructed, at that time I happened to be in the Ministry of Roads, and trying to explain to the people around that area how the area would once be transformed, how institutions would move there and many things would happen. It looked like one of many other, like propaganda. But today, any of you who goes to Thika, Kenyatta Road, Roiro, and all those places, the area has completely transformed. Every single town there now is becoming a metropolitan area. Land that was previously 500,000 is now in the range of 15 to 20 million. So I want you to imagine that transformation where? Here in Nakuru. So we'll have, the population is likely to double. Actually, if you look at Thika Road, when we designed Thika Road, it looked like we were planning for 20 years. But today we're already having congestion on Thika Road, because the number of people who have moved to that section because of easy connectivity, how long it takes to go there, is very high. Likewise, expect the same for this road. Once it is completed in another 2-3 years, Nakuru is going to be another place. Every single town from Gilgil, Barnabas, Naivasha, all those places will become big metropolis. So if I'm in education, I'll be asking my question, where will the children go to school? If I'm in real estate, I'll be asking, where will those new people go? If I'm in hospitality and I'm thinking conferencing, that's a question I'll be asking. There'll be massive construction arising from this. So those of you who again are in construction, another opportunity arises. So I think what I'm trying to say, the government, has facilitated this road. And this is one of the biggest projects. Thika Road was only 40 kilometers. How far is Rironi all the way up to Mount Summit? About 160 kilometers. So this is going to be like Thika Road times what? Times what? Times 4. So we'll be pouring into Nakuru like rain. So how are the people of Nakuru, the business people, even the church? Because wouldn't all these people require spiritual care? Would they require health care? So I think I'm just trying to say that from where we sit as government, sometimes when you create this infrastructure, it is important that it is put into good use. And how do we put it into good use? These people in business who are good at multiplying, creating opportunities, and helping us so that we can move forward. And I want to also give the President's commitment on this road. Because this road is not just about Nakuru. It goes all the way up to Eldoret, Kisumu, and many other areas. So we would want to connect this entire road so that it is not just a road, it is an economic railway that everybody can be able to connect. You're doing your eggs, you're doing your beef, you want to send it to DRC, you want to send it in the shortest time, this is now it. So we need to see it not just as a road or an infrastructure project, but an economic pathway that you can use to connect with all the others. And for the people of Nakuru, I urge you, open your eyes, see the opportunities. I see the banks are here. Banks are here to support you so that you can be able to take opportunities that come around that. And we'll be here to support you, including government agencies that are already good in that. So I wanted to say that quickly, because this is also an agricultural area, Nakuru, Njoro, all these places. First to say that probably Nakuru is the only county you can grow everything except Munazi. I'm sure you know that. Do you grow tea here? Do you grow coffee? Do you grow pyrethrum? Avocado? Flowers? What don't we grow? Munazi and maybe in Miram. But what I wanted to say, if you are in agriculture anywhere, Nakuru is a place to be. Because there's nothing you cannot grow here, from wheat to anything. And I want to challenge you to take any other county in Kenya that has that kind of chicken. You go to Nyeri, they probably can grow 1 or 2 crops only. But Nakuru, you can literally grow almost anything and everything. So if you're ever looking for a Canaan in the context of Kenya, where is that Canaan? Where is that Canaan? And I'm saying this because sometimes we sit on huge opportunities, but you have not opened our eyes to those opportunities. So as we move forward, my urge to all of you is the issue of value addition. The difference in value between selling your milk raw and selling it as yogurt is ×3. The difference in you selling your wheat in bags as opposed to selling it as a finished commodity made in Olenguruni or Njoro and other places is about 2 to 3 times. So why are we throwing money in our hands? So our ministry is here to support you to create small ventures of value addition. So that from the small towns, wherever we are, we can say we come and aggregate together, create a small factory and sell. And you have said selling is not just about Nakuru. The whole of Western, even up to outside the country. And I've gone to many places. Last week you were having the COMESA meeting where heads of state from 21 countries had come here so that we can open that whole market. So somebody in Joro or Gilgil will be producing for Malawi and many other countries. And this is a connection we want. The internet we talked about is not just for knowing what politicians said, isn't it? It is for knowing where you can sell your commodity. You want to source some raw material. We use that to know, do I get it from Rwanda, from Kenya, from Turkana? You have fish you want to sell, you want to know where you can do that, and all those opportunities exist. And I'm just trying to say this because one of the biggest challenges we're having as a country is unemployment by our young people. And this is a very serious problem. When you have a graduate in economics, walking on the streets is a border rider, that is something that should worry us. But the only way we can solve that problem is to create opportunities. When you go and start your own small factory in Rongai, employ a food technologist, employ an accountant, employ a marketing person, together we can be able to absorb these young people and create a market beyond ourselves into the future. And as I have said, as government, our role is not just to open your eyes, but also to give you an opportunity to participate in that big whole ecosystem that we want to create. Value addition is the way of the future. I know you've seen some of the things that are written there, the people, the richest people, and what they do. Again, I think that's another area I would really want to say that it's always good when you walk around, you should say, if you are a teacher, you should be proud to say you are a teacher, isn't it? You know, we also have come up with very strange millionaires in Kenya. When you ask them what they do and how they got their money, they say, ni nani? Ni nani? Yes, it is God, but God works through industries, through known lines, isn't it? And we need them to come forward, because also when you give your story, you inspire the next generation. You get them to know that you can do this, you can start this value addition, make money, empower your community, and together we move to the next forward. So I think it's important that whatever we do, the story of hygienic butchery, in my opinion, in Nakuru, is a story even kids in school should learn. Because it is a story of resilience. I'm there with not too much education in the world, but who goes and buys goats around Mogoti and all those places, opens many butcheries, and now is a household name. Those are the stories we want to hear. I am not saying that God does not make us rich, but it's also good to give the other story. How did he make you? Isn't it? There's been a bit of a missing gap where somebody disappears and the next time he shows up, things are better and he doesn't want that conversation. That is not how we inspire the next generation. Because as Christians, yes, we want to get rich, but we want to get it in the right way and in a way that is also pleasing to the Lord. In closing, I just want to mention 2 or 3 issues about Kenya and some of the policies that have been. We opened Kenya to be visa-free for other African countries. I know some people didn't like that, but I want to tell you this. The favorite destination for investment by the entire East Africa and beyond is where? It's Kenya. This housing we are doing in Nairobi, Mombasa, and even here in Nakuru, don't be shocked to find people from West Africa, from South Africa, from everywhere. And as they come here, what do they bring? They bring what? Isn't it? And you, if you're a developer, now you can be able to do the next development, and the other, and the other. One small statement that has created opportunities across. Last week, you were holding that regional conference called COMESA, and all of those big dignitaries off microphone, they were asking me, where can I put a shilling in Kenya? So small things that mean a lot. The issue of Kenya, the currency, I know about 1.5 years ago, if you wanted dollars, you couldn't get. The rates were just over the head. But can we agree in the last 1 year, the dollar has remained? And is it available? It is important to ask that question because I know some people are going out of the country tomorrow, they want money, they want to go and buy raw material and machinery. If you don't have the hard currency, can you be able to progress in that area? So again, we avail that foreign currency and it is stable, which means even if you're planning next year, the other year, how much will you be buying your raw materials, at what price, you generally know that there's stability. Now, that may be normal here, but it is not normal across African countries. Most of the other places, you cannot get the currency. And when you get it, it is actually like in a PIMO, isn't it? So there are certain things that are going on well. Where things have not happened, I want to assure you, we have a team that is working on that. You remember many years ago, when we used to drive on the matatus, and they would put stickers inside the matatu saying many things. There was one that was written, keep cool, professional driver in. On the business desk, I want to assure you there's a what? And in the next 1 year, I want to assure you, the interest rates in the banks, they were previously at 19, 18. The bankers who are here today will tell you we are around 14. Our target is to bring it down to around 12. At 12, people can borrow, they can build, they can be able to expand their businesses. So from next year, I want to tell you the economic space within Kenya will be transiting to a better place. Some of the wars that made inflation so crazy, like Ukraine, In Israel, those wars are almost coming to an end. Just last week, Hamas and Israel signed a peace deal. So the only one remaining is now the one for... Those wars have made business difficult. For the longest time, we could not take our goods through the Red Sea. We had to go all the way down through the Cape to sell to Europe and other places. So, yes, we may not be there, but we are heading where? There. My challenge to many of our Kenyans who go, say, to China and many of these other big countries, we go to buy the machinery. No, we go to buy maybe T-shirts or whatever you want to do, electronics. I think it's a good thing. But you also want to ask, as you go to buy, can you also find something you can take where? Isn't it? Whether it's our coffee, where is our tea, our flowers, our macadamia, our avocado, so that we are not just taking our currency out. We are taking as we bring back into Kenya. And these are the conversations of value addition that we would want to hear from the people of Nakuru and Kenya in general. So we would want to support you. As you go there, maybe instead of buying the T-shirts, isn't it better to buy the machine that makes the what? Instead of buying the electronics, isn't it better we look for the equipment that makes the what? So that next year and the other year, instead of all of us going to those countries to buy those products, other people within Africa will be coming here to buy what? The same product. And this is the conversation we would want. I want to finish by saying that when I look at the broad dynamics of Kenya, the economy, and many other things that affect the business people, as I've said, the horizon looks positive. And this is not just an assertion from myself. Even the World Bank has reviewed its position on Kenya's forecast in the coming year. But as we do that, there is one existential threat that Kenya has had. And I think it's called political. Our only problem is that maybe the world doesn't know the next time you'll hold your maandamano, how it will disrupt the business, and many other things. And it is for that reason that the president has decided to engage more people so that there can be a political conversation, so that we don't solve our problems on the what? On the streets. If there's a political problem, let it not be solved on the streets, because that way we make our businesses difficult. I remember seeing some of the businesses that were banned, supermarkets, and all that. And I want to say, as a leader from Nakuru, even here in Kenya, it pained me. Because it means, when you see that, it means dialogue has failed. So, and I also want to challenge the church. Yes, the political leadership has a role, but also the church has a role. So that we can train our people, bring the interests of the nation together, and ensure that we work together. I want to end by thanking all of you and to assure you that on any matter that requires my attention and support, I'll be there for you. God bless.
Amen. Wow. Thank you. Thank you.